Well, I love sweet treats, so I got a bit of sweet tooth, so I love making dessert. So today I'm making macarons. I think everyone knows what macaron is. It's not one of those coconut biscuit. That's macaron, so don't mistaken by that. This is macaron, so it's a French, I guess it's a French pastries. So there are a few steps you have to be careful. I have to admit, it is something very difficult to make, but took me about 5 attempts to really crack the code. I think I probably still fail today, but we'll give it a try. I think what's the fun part of making macaron is you can create as many flavors as you like. And today we're going to make a popcorn macarons stuffed with a salted caramel buttercream. So to make the macaron shells, there are 4 basic ingredients: almond meal, icing sugar, egg whites, and also caster sugar. So first things we have to do is we're gonna bleed the almond meal and the icing sugar to a very fine powder, because you have to do that part to make a very nice, shiny, smooth shell. So we have a blender here. We just add the almond meal and the icing sugar. And then just blitz for 30 seconds, and then scrape it down, and then blitz another 30 seconds, so total is about 1 minute. So after a minute, this is very nice found powder. You can see it's turning, the almond meal is not as yellow as before anymore, so it's more whiter in color. And then all you have to do is sieve it. So now all the almond meal and icing sugars are bleed and sieved, so they're ready and set aside. What we're gonna do now is make an Italian meringue. So basically the Italian meringue that is give the macaron shell a nice crunchy on the outside and then chewy on the inside. So I just use a small saucepan, add sugar in, put a sugar thermometer, some water. So basically just put on a stove and bring it to boil. Now keep an eye on the sugar thermometer, because we need to bring the heat up to about 110. And once we're 115 degrees, we have to take it off the stove and then start pouring into the egg white. So we're gonna start whisking the egg white when it reaches 110 degrees. So you have to keep an eye on it. So now the sugar thermometer reaches about 100 degrees, so it's time to whisk the egg whites. So to whisk the egg white, just start with a slow speed and then just gradually turn it up high. Okay, the egg white at the moment is soft peaked, so it's time to pour the hot syrup in it. Just slowly pour the sugar syrup in a steady stream on the side of the bowl. Make sure it doesn't catch on the whisk. Now if you touch the bowl, you still feel it's quite hot, so you just let the meringue whisking for like about 10 minutes to cool down, and then you will get a nice glossy meringue at the end result. It has been 10 minutes. I think the Italian meringue is pretty much ready. You can see how stiff and shiny it is. So I think they're pretty much ready. Now I'm going to scrape all the meringues out of the bowl into a mixing bowl. So we're going to fold the almond meal mixture now into the meringue. So we're going to do it in a few stages. So because if you're going to chuck all in, you're going to have lumps. So we start with about half of the mixture and then just fold it in. Now you can see all the almond is almost incorporated into the meringue. Then you can add a little bit more in. So just another half of the mixture. Fold it in. As you can see, the mixture is flowing slowly like lava. This is the texture is what we're looking for. Okay, here's the fun part now. We're gonna pipe the macaron shells. What I'm gonna do, usually I count 3. I counted 3 every time when I pipe a shell. That's when it's enough of mixture for each shell. I mean, you also can print out A4 sheets of paper with about 30 cents circle, about 3 centimeters circles printed out as a template underneath the baking sheet. It's up to you. So for me, I start with this corner. I just count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. Here you have it. That's a macaron shell. You can see it's a bit imperfect at the moment, so all you have to do is just give it a nice tap on the bench, or just leave it up, and this is the good trick. Just gently tap the baking tray down. So the mixture will spread out a little bit and form a nicer circle. So now we have all the macaron shells piped. Here I have some popcorn, basically just popcorn, and then you just blend it in the blender until fine powder. All you have to do is just sprinkle on top of it. Make sure try not to sprinkle too close to the edge because the macaron might not rise evenly. So just try to sprinkle right on top of each shell. Okay, now this is all done. So now we have to leave it to set for an hour, because if you don't leave it set, it will crack when you start baking it. So you have to leave for an hour to form a skin outside. So when you bake it, it will rise very high with the feet. So that's very important for macaron. Now the macaron shells are resting, so it's time to make a buttercream to go with it. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to make a salted caramel buttercream. Here we have softened butter. Just add to the mixing bowl. And then we're going to start bit into light and creamy. Okay, the butter now is like light and pale, so it's time to add this icing sugar. Just turn the pedal speed down a little bit so you don't, all the powders, icing sugar goes everywhere. So just turn it down. Add the icing sugar a tablespoon at a time. Okay, I have added all the icing sugar. Now it's pretty much a buttercream ready. So basically you can use this buttercream for, even icing a cake or anything like that. But we're gonna go one step further as usual. So here I have salted caramel that I prepared earlier. So we're gonna add, well, depends on how naughty you are. You can add a whole heap spoonful. I'm gonna add about, a little bit more, why not? And then just beat it into the buttercream again. And that's pretty much done, I think. Tastes good. So there you have it. This is the salted caramel buttercream. It's ready to fill up all the macaron shells. Okay, see how it goes. Now it's been an hour sitting on the bench, so it's nice form, a nice skin now, so it's time to bake. It depends on your oven. So usually for my oven, I will bake at 135 degrees for about 20 minutes. So, but some oven can be a little bit hotter, some is less, so it's all, you have to try and error. This is very important. So 135 degrees for 20 minutes. Okay, now it's time to check our macaron. That looks beautiful to me. As you can see, all the macaron has feet. They call it feet, and it's just rise like beautifully. So what we're going to do now is just leave the macaron shell on the hot tray to set for like another 10 minutes. Just finish cooking the bottom, because sometimes when you try to lift it up, you will stick to the baking paper. If that happens, just put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so, and then we just it's ready to pipe the filling. So now all the macaron shells are cooled down. They're ready to be piped. So here I have the salted caramel buttercream. So be generous with the filling. Just pipe a big dollop of the buttercream. There you go. And then you just pick it up. Have another macaron shell. Just press it down gently. And there you have it. There's a macaron. Just finish up. And there you have it. Salted caramel macarons. Mm.